Hello everyone and welcome back to game week 3 of the PTC Therapeutics Premiership, where you join myself, Ryan Sipple, for this fixture between Villa Rockets and Aspire. And we are underway. Villa Rockets comprised of Hamza Madir, Amir Ali, Daniel Kay and Daniel Ball, as John Baldwin looks to mount an early attack for the current league leaders and champions. When we get a moment, I'll go through the Aspire team and talk about how both of these have fared across game week 3. It's John Baldwin looking to attack. Dan McClellan to his left, the right as you're viewing it. So Aspire have Tom Kelly in goal. The ever-present John Baldwin in the centre. Wingers of Brad Bates and Dan McClellan. Aspire have had an absolutely faultless weekend. They started with a comprehensive 7-0 victory over Hull and East Yorkshire before beating Manchester United by 3-0 as Dan McClellan tries his luck early on. 3-0 victory over Manchester United. Today they've already secured a 4-0 victory over Nomad Knights, have won 3 of their 3 games, scored 14, conceded none in their pursuit of a second successive Premiership trophy. Ricochets into the path of Daniel Ball. Tom Kelly called into defensive action for the first time this game. This, their penultimate game of the weekend. They face Nottingham later on today. Villa Rockets, a mixed weekend. They started with a fairly good victory over Sevenoaks. That finished 2-0. They will be really disappointed in the fashion in which they lost to Newcastle yesterday afternoon. They were 2-0 up and fairly good value for 3 points before a very late comeback from Jamie Harrison's side. They lost that one 3-2, so they'll be looking to regroup here and continue to rise up the ranks of the Premiership standings. They have another game yet to play in game week 3 against closely matched rivals West Bromwich Albion Throttles, as Dan McClellan guides it goal bound, cleared by Hamza Madir. Amir Ali flicks it to Dan Kay. McClellan trying to get the pick off over to Brad Bates. Doesn't quite pull off on that occasion. Hamza Madir over to Brad Bates. He's going to attempt an effort. Back to Baldwin. Just wide of the left-hand post. Good work from Aspire, who have penned Villa Rockets in the first 3 minutes of this tie. Madir into Dan Ball. Baldwin. McClellan in reverse. Good defending from Villa Rockets. There was options in attack for the young England and Aspire winger, but they did well to limit them options. Baldwin, cleared by the back wheel of Hamza Madir. Baldwin once again, this time switches play to Dan McClellan on the right. 2-on-1 in favour of Aspire. Daniel Ball just drawn into the action there. Boom, boom, attempted wide of the right-hand post. That isn't quite being pulled off this weekend. A number of teams have attempted it. We know they can be effective. They've scored it in their earlier game of the season against Sevenoaks, and what a brilliant goal it was as well. Without question will be in consideration for the goal of the season. Amir Ali can't dispossess Bouldin, so Dan Kay called into responsibility in defence. McClellan drops off. Advantage played by Paul Pearson as Amir Ali desperately tries to relieve pressure on his defence. They've been penned in for the first 5 minutes. Both of these sides have options on the bench. Aspire a full complement at their disposal. Bobby Williams, Jordan Williams, Sally McNeil and Rosie Hodgson. I think they're the only team potentially in the top flight that brings a full squad of 8 to the National League. A single substitute on the bench for Villa Rockets in Summer Rice. Bouldin. Dan Kay dispossesses but sets up Bouldin to attempt an effort. It's like just plays it off Daniel Kay. Heavy contact as the ball's trapped between the chairs of Amir Ali and John Bouldin. Neither will yield. Looks like a set ball will be contested between these two, as the referee deemed that a 50-50. Bouldin flicks it over to Brad Bates, who's having a very impressive game week 3. A reminder that at the conclusion of today's action, we will be running a few polls. Dan McClellan ricochets the ball off the post. Hamza Madir very fortunate that didn't go over the goal line. Well worked by the 3 attacking players of the champions. Dan McClellan with responsibility of this resulting corner kick. At the conclusion, we'll have a team of the weekend poll, player of the weekend, and an unsung hero. Bouldin smashes the ball into a stationary Hamza Madir. Tom Kelly with a brilliant pass to just bypass Daniel Kay. Otherwise, it would have been a goal-scoring opportunity for Villa Rockets. The positioning that John Bouldin is able to maintain on the pitch, despite that really high line, means he's a constant threat and very little scraps to feed off for Villa Rockets. These two met last weekend and contested the 3rd round draw in the John Good Group WFA Cup. It was Aspire that were the victors. 3-0 they were able to secure as they progressed to the next round of the draw, which has just been conducted upstairs. So I can confirm that Aspire will play one of Sale United and Hull and East Yorkshire in the quarter-final of the John Good Group WFA Cup. Brad Bates now across the box, just off the front of Hamza Madir's chair. Couldn't quite get the angle on that second pass from Bouldin. It goes out for a Villa Rockets ball. So Newcastle United Foundation or Nottinghamshire will face either Greenbank or Teesside. Aspire will face Sale United or Hull and East Yorkshire. West Bromwich Albion Throttles or Sevenoaks will face Leeds Chariots, and Nomad Knights or Aspire will face Muscle Warriors. That quarter-final is set to take place at the Derby Arena on March 17th. We'll bring you all details on that if you follow our social media. At the conclusion of this weekend, we will shine a spotlight on our National Cup competition, which of course culminates in that highly anticipated televised final on TNT Sport as part of the FA Disability Cup weekend. Dan McClellan into Bouldin, turns the favour, fired into the side of Amir Ali's chair. We've got 10.5 minutes to go. Villa Rockets 0, Aspire 0. Brad Bates. Off of Humza Midir, pick off from Boulding. Chance potentially for Dan Kay to break. Just nicked off the front of his chair. I think he wanted to avoid contact with that and let it advance all the way into the Aspire half. Tom Kelly has only had one real involvement. It was a very good one at that. No doubt we have people and players attached to West Bromwich Albion tuning in, praying for a Villa Rockets win. Dan Kay. Daniel Ball in support. All the way back to Boulding. Just guides it out of play. Or even to Dan McClellan, who brilliantly keeps it in. These three are really establishing an impressive attacking partnership. Midir. Boulding just feints. Looks like he's going to try and shape it over to Brad Bates, which he does. Back to Boulding, just nicked off the front of Humza Midir's chair. Advantage played. Boulding on the edge, going to attempt an effort, a goal off the back of Amir Ali's chair. It just nicks up into the side of Brad Bates. These balls can be fairly unforgiving when they come off the ground. Set ball will resume play. Amir Ali and John Boulding to duel. Boulding does well. Going to try and force the ball between the defensive pair of Villa Rockets. Just cushioned over to Dan McClellan. Back to Boulding. Whilst Aspire have been the more dominant, had the most possession, they're yet to have a breakthrough or any real clear goal-scoring opportunities, as Amir Ali, for the first time, is able to advance into the Aspire box. Only the second or third touch Tom Kelly has had all game, 12 minutes in. Daniel Kay to take the resulting corner kick. Got Amir Ali in support, into the side of Boulding's chair, just ricochets between the two captains. Bates. Back to Boulding. Dan Kay dispossesses. Bates. Over to McClellan. Boulding. Just trying to squeeze it through that gap. Humza Midir is having an impressive game and weekend so far. Really broken onto the scene and given Villa Rockets some incredible stability in defensive areas of the pitch. And I know from what I've seen of him in the Regional Emergent Talent Programme, the FA's ladder to the England senior team, he's impressed thoroughly on that as well. So a bright future for him. I think only his second season in the National League. It's a real mix of talent, youth and experience in this Villa Rockets team. Dan Kay and Amir Ali providing immense stability and experience. Daniel Ball, Summer Rice and Humza Midir. Dan McClellan picks out a gap in the Villa Rockets goal. Absolutely brilliant goal. Well worked opportunity. They've been persistent and they managed to find the opening with 6 minutes left to be played of this first half. I think it was Brad Bates with the assist. It went from one side of the court to the other. Brilliantly left by John Boulding. Villa Rockets 0, Aspire 1, and that will just settle the nerves slightly. They'll be happy it came this side of the break. Dan McClellan, the goal scorer, into the box. Unlucky from Bolden there. Not sure whether he wanted the shot at goal or to return the pass to McClellan. Either way, it goes out for a goal kick. Bolden just ushers it down to McClellan on that right-hand wing. Dan Kay constantly pressuring. Dan McClellan. Slight contact off the ball between Brad Bates and Dan Kay. Paul Pearson, a fantastic referee, just making sure the players know who's in charge. As John Bolden attempts an effort. Very late reactions from Amir Ali. Does so well to prevent Aspire's second. Dan Kay out of play. Certainly in way of attacking presence. It's been very one-sided. The ball's very rarely entered the Aspire defensive half as Brad Bates controls that with the front of his chair. There's few players better in the world in such close, compact areas out wide. Try and bring up the table to see what this potential 3 points could do for Aspire in their pursuit of another league title. Bolden, dispossessed by Amir Ali. McClellan's going to attempt an effort here, feints. Out of play. As you can see, this result would put Aspire up to 34 points and give them a comfortable 6-point buffer on West Bromwich Albion. So close. Newcastle United Foundation having an absolutely brilliant weekend, joint on points with the 4-time champions West Brom. Free kick for Aspire, approaching the final minute of the first half. Villa Rockets 0, Aspire 1. Bates now in that central role, looking for the pick-off. Didn't quite get there in time, so McClellan's effort guided out of play. The 3 attacking players resume their normal positions now. Bolden in the centre, Bates out on the left as you're viewing it, on the right for Aspire as they attack down the court. Bolden has to be aware there. Dan Kay put himself in a really good position to just cause a nuisance, and that ball advances all the way to Dan Ball on that right-hand wing. He's been very isolated in this half. Has had little to no involvement. That's more a testament to the relentless attacking pressure from Aspire. Two on one in favour of Aspire. Dan Kay and Amir Ali not given the necessary 3 metres needed. But play to continue. So Dan McClellan locks it up with Amir Ali. Bolden. Final 30 seconds. It looks like Aspire will take this 1-0 lead into the break, courtesy of Dan McClellan after 14 minutes. Bates. Pick off from Amir Ali. Sets away Dan Kay in a very late opportunity. Tom Kelly very comfortable in just guiding it out of danger. Goes from one side of the court to the other. Probably across the 20 minutes. I doubt the ball has been in the Aspire half more than a minute. And a very late Dan McClellan chance will be the last action of the first half. Villa Rockets 0, Aspire 1. Join me for the second half shortly. Hello everyone and welcome back. As we get ready for this second half in this fixture between Villa Rockets and Aspire. Currently separated by a single Dan McClellan goal for the champions, and we are underway. Aspire looking to resume their attacking intent early in this second half. As Bates has an opportunity, cleared by Hamza Madir, falls kindly for Dan McClellan. Bates had a substitution. We'll get confirmation of that one very shortly. Summer Rice has come on in place of Daniel Bull. Unchanged from the champions. Bates into McClellan, back to his number 19 winger, Bolden. Very congested in that final third, calls for 2-on-1, just guided out of play for Hamza Madir. Corner kick. Brad Bates to take, Bolden as his closest option in attack. Doesn't quite get the accuracy he would have wanted. Gets a second bite of the apple as McClellan fires it goal bound, cleared off the line by Hamza Madir. Bates. McClellan to Bates. Couldn't quite get the contact. A lot of spin on that ball, which allows Hamza Madir to close the space. Bolden to Bates to McClellan. Fortunate ricochet calls Bubba into defensive duties. Ball remains in play. Can Villa Rockets break now? Summer Rice advanced up the court. An opportunity potentially. Summer Rice guides it goal bound. Not before the referee Paul Pearson had blown a 2-on-1 in the favour of Aspire. I think Tom Kelly would have had it covered, certainly the initial effort. The ball has been retrieved, so an indirect free kick will resume play, taken by Bolden, and quickly so. McClellan into Bates, fired across the box. Dan McClellan will be disappointed. He didn't quite have the accuracy to fire that goal bound, and Bolden drawn into the action gives away a 2-on-1. Madir all the way back to Bolden, hits it first time. Summer Rice desperately trying to get her team into the Aspire half. Hamza Madir, Bolden, Amir Ali. Hamza Madir and Amir Ali constantly have to readjust to make sure they cover themselves defensively for the attacking options they have out wide. Aspire, Brad Bates lurking on that right hand wing, McClellan on the left, nullifying them whilst keeping John Bolden at bay is a lot easier said than done, as Bolden passes it to his captain. He's going to attempt an effort at goal, trying to squeeze the ball between Ali and Madir. They're alert to the chance on that occasion. But considering the high press that Aspire have adopted, the danger still very much present as Dan Kay just offers an outlet to Summer Rice. Dispossessed by Dan McClellan. Advantage by Paul Pearson. A little bit of contact from Dan McClellan. A brilliant ball from Boulding over to Bates, who then eventually finds McClellan. Be very easy for Aspire to get frustrated by this stubborn defence. Don't understate how important that single goal is, and the one that they acquired before half-time. They don't have to risk it too much. The 3 points are in their hand as Bates attempts an effort, just ricochets off the back wheel of Amir Ali. And then a second effort cleared by Hamza Madir. Got 14 minutes to go. Villa Rockets nil, Aspire 1. Bates into Hamza Madir. I'd love to know how many times he's cleared it and the ball's rebounded off the side of his chair. In the 27 or so minutes we've had of this game so far. 2-on-1 in favour of Villa Rockets will be taken by Dan Kay. I'll bring up the scoreline of the game currently live on Court A, which sees Leeds Chariots have a 1-goal lead over Nottinghamshire. Dan McClellan off of Hamza Madir's chair. Quickly taken. Tom Kelly out by Summer Rice. Thumbs up of approval from John Boulding. Must be incredibly difficult for a player like Tom Kelly, isolated for 95-98% of this game, but have to be alert for any potential breaks from Villa Rockets. Bates doesn't quite get the accuracy, which allows Summer Rice to just put up an obstacle between herself and the other attacking Aspire players. Dan McClellan unable to connect. Bates, Boulding, back to Bates. Falls for him on the right-hand wing, and a very rare miss-hit from Boulding. I'm not sure what his intention was with that one. But it goes out for a Villa Rockets kick-in, taken by Dan Kay. Quickly dispossessed. Dan McClellan with an opportunity. McClellan. Bait to the back post, unmarked. Villa Rockets nil. Aspire 2. Brilliant opportunity scored by Brad Bates, who adds yet another goal to his impressive tally, both in the season and game week 3. Be interesting to see if John Boulding looks to his bench now. They have that 2-goal buffer. They have 4 options at their disposal. Summer Rice does well, comes away with the ball. Summer Rice all the way over to Dan Kay. Signs of frustration in the Villa Rockets number 4. Isn't able to find one of his teammates. Brad Bates. Happy to let that roll out of play as we approach the final 10 minutes of this game. Can Villa Rockets do what none others have been able to do in game week 3? Register a goal against Aspire. As mentioned at the start, Aspire have had a faultless game week 3. 7-0 victory over Hull, 3-0 victory over Manchester United, 4-0 victory over Nomad Knights, and they currently boast a 2-0 scoreline over Villa Rockets. Their final game against Nottinghamshire later on today they'll desperately want maximum points to keep a little bit of distance between themselves and the teams in pursuit of that top position. Contact from John Bolden allowed, and Rosie Hodgson guides it goal bound. Some contact off the ball that Dan Kay isn't too happy with, but John Bolden will get the assist, and Rosie Hodgson, straight after her introduction to the action, will be the goal scorer. If Rosie's listening, I apologise. I'm accustomed to referring to her as Rosie Hodgson, but it is, as confirmation shows on your screen, Rosie Dack. I'll ensure that that is the name in which I use if she is to register any more goals in this game. Amir Ali. Villa Rockets 0, Aspire 3. This matches the scoreline. Summer Rice has an opportunity. Absolutely brilliant defending from Tom Kelly. I spoke about how the fact he's been so isolated in this game, and it would be fairly easy to slip into a state of complacency just from that lack of awareness, but he stays alert. Very adept, qualified goalkeeper whose game has improved significantly in the last few seasons. He's a real asset to John Bolden's side. A lot of teams, as Bolden attempts an effort, a lot of teams in the Premiership are built off the foundation of that goalkeeper. Amir Ali. Just looking around at myself at the Lee Westwood Sports Centre, referring to goalkeepers. There's 4 goalkeepers currently across Court A and Court B. We've got Tom Kelly, Hamza Madir, Lewis Harris and Matt Hadfield, 4 of the leading players in the country. I love the fact that goalkeepers now are not just the obstacle that needs to be between the posts. They're some of the most dynamic, exciting players in the league. As Brad Bates has possession, Bolden over. Came very quickly over to Rosie Dack on the left-hand side. Nothing she could do to keep the ball in play. Dan Kay has come off. Daniel Ball re-enters the action. Confirmation of that substitute on your screens now as Bolden pressures. Bates. Are they going to attempt the boom boom yet again? It looks like they may just do that. Bates to tee it up to Bolden, wide of the left-hand post. I think it may have even gone out for a kick-in on that left-hand side. Substitution, his last involvement, Brad Bates comes off. Jordan Williams enters the action. Another brilliant performance from the Aspire number 19. Who's without question in for a shout of standout player of the weekend. The same can be applied to any one of these Aspire players. They don't look like they're going to shy away from their pursuit of a second successive Premiership trophy. Looking at the quality on show, West Bromwich Albion obviously strengthened with the acquisition of Valentino Zegarelli and have been equally as impressive. Really looking forward to the next meeting between them two sides. Hamza Madir guides it into the path of Jordan Williams. Under 5 minutes to go. Rosie Dack, now on that right-hand side. Jordan Williams occupying the left wing. Good work from Hamza Madir. Williams. Madir, Boldin takes possession, trying to bypass Summer Rice. Good work from Summer Rice there. Kick in for Villa Rockets. Amir Ali, the closest option in support. Dan Ball at the back post. Guided goal bound by Amir Ali. Tom Kelly has to be alert there. Summer Rice trying to sneak the ball behind him inside that left-hand post. An audacious effort from Amir Ali. Jordan Williams trying to put up a screen to prevent further Villa Rockets attack. Rosie Dack well advanced up the court. Rice into Dan Ball. Couldn't get any power on that use of his front bumper. So no trouble for Tom Kelly and John Bolden to deal with. Rice into Amir Ali. Wasn't aware that the ball was going to return to her almost immediately. Similar occasion on with them two players of Aspire. Slight lapses of a concentration very late in this game. This is the penultimate game of both teams' weekend. Villa next up against West Bromwich Albion Throstles, and Aspire play Nottinghamshire. Madir. Summer Rice can't quite clear the lines of Villa Rockets, and a beautiful ball from Bolden finds Jordan Williams. Rosie Dack with the follow-up effort. This is brilliant passing football as Dack attempts an effort at goal. Rotates counterclockwise to meet it on that occasion, just wide of the right-hand post. 2 minutes to go. Villa Rockets nil, Aspire 3. Rice into Daniel Ball. Been so impressive in this game, John Bolden, pulling the strings, and whenever Villa Rockets had a sniff in attack, he's been quick to support Tom Kelly. And whilst Tom Kelly has had little to no involvement, the time in which he has contributed has been absolutely pivotal as the foundation in which they're likely to secure this 3 points. As Jordan Williams just a little deft touch to angle it goal bound. Very few teams are able to boast wins over Villa Rockets as comprehensive as a 3-0 scoreline is. One of the most impressive defensive duos in this country. The partnership in which Amir Ali and Hamza Madir have established is one of my favourites in this country. As Bolden takes himself off, Salim McNeil is going to play the final minute. 2-on-1 in favour of Villa Rockets. 10 seconds to go. This will be the 4th successive victory of game week 3 for the champions. Can anyone come close to challenging them? Nottinghamshire up next. Rosie Dack to take Jordan Williams in support down the line. Sally McNeil in the box. Down to Jordan Williams, back to Dack. An opportunity very late on, and as has been the case all game, Tom Kelly, coolest customer on the court, just comfortable in controlling it and relieving any and all pressure, and that concludes the action. Villa Rockets 0, Aspire 3, a professional, comprehensive performance from the champions, spearheaded by John Baldwin, one of the most impressive players anywhere in the world. And the fact that he has such faith and talent in abundance at his disposal. Brad Bates, Dan McClellan, Rosie Hodgson, who all contributed significantly to that win. But thank you to all that have joined me for this fixture. Next up on Court B, I'll be commentating on Manchester United against West Bromwich Albion.